Hi, everybody. This is a technical analysis video of the SAIC stock ticker. One of my subscribers asked if I could do this. So here goes. We have here the weekly view to give us a broad look at the historical price action for this ticker. I can see immediately a few trend lines. Let's just start annotating. As per usual, when we're annotating on the weekly view, the higher the time scale for your annotation activity, the less precise it has to be. You're just trying to get a feel for market action. And trend lines, the more reactions price has against a trend line, then the more respect there is. Yeah, the more valid that trend line can be trusted for future reactions. All right, so a few like that. And part of the way that I do technical analysis, I'll add horizontal support and resistance lines. I'll do that usually on the daily time frame. All right, so this is kind of my broad brush view. Okay, very good. I'll do a quick save, Control S in the TradingView app here on my desktop. And let's switch to the daily to get a little bit better view here. All right, so here's the daily. And what I'm looking for is cleaning up my lines, right? For example, I'm looking at this line here. I'm going to make it a little bit darker so we can talk about it. I'll make it, let's make it a 3px. Great. So great, you can see here some reactions, a reaction here. Let's see, maybe pull it down just a little. Okay. Actually, I'll go back to the 1 pixel because it's a little bit cleaner. So I like that touch there. Very good. Okay. Wick through. Yeah, I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. It's very much an art. There's no exact, it's not 100% exact. You just kind of have to eyeball it, get a feel for what's best. So I'm kind of looking here. Okay. So I like that price came down on this green candle and used this trend line as support. Okay, I kind of like that. I like how price here opened up right at resistance, came back down. So I like this line. I'll leave it. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out. Auto here. So I kind of like, I think the lines are pretty good. All right, so now let me add on the daily time frame another eyeball or two of some. So go from this. Yeah, it's not perfect. So this one, I kind of like this one. Maybe, no, maybe like that. Okay, and I'll explain why. All right. Reaction here, okay, not perfect here either, but I do like this interaction here, okay? You've got 2 touches here, using it as support on this one, price came back down, retained support. Here, a gap down, bought it up at resistance from the resistance, so I like this, okay? Here's the attempt to recover. Yeah, got rejected, fine. And then when you come up here, I like that there's this big candle here, impulsive big green candle to show that price had to push through vigorously. Came back up, used it as support. Tested support here with this red candle wick. Okay, here, when it broke down, big red candle, so I had to really push through. Okay, so I kind of like this. All right, so what is the next thing we're going to do is add the horizontal supports. Okay, the way I do it is I look at over many days, so I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. I look down here at the volume candles, okay? And I only pick out the ones that have the highest volumes. So like all of these to me are very similar. So I'll do this one. Okay, so what I do is I zoom in a little bit, put my line at like the edge there and do Alt H. Oh, actually the switch. Switch to the cross, it's easier. So the top of the body of this red candle, okay, Alt H. Okay, here's a horizontal line. Move over, here's this one, this day's volume, which corresponds to here, okay, which is this guy. And if you, let's say you did it by accident too high, you can just drag it, okay? Or if you're really super precise, you can see that there's price values up here. So for this candle, if you put it over this candle, you can see the open price, the high, the low, and the closing. Okay, so I go with the top of the candle, regardless of the red or green candle. So in this case, the red candle, the top of it is the open price, 92.76. So if you want, you can go to that horizontal line, right? If you're really wanting to be super precise, you can type it in. Okay, there you go. All right, so let's find the next tall candle, this one, green one down here, from a volume perspective. Interesting, almost a doji candle. We go like that, okay. And then, let's see this one here. Interesting. To me, this shows a zone. So this red candle is pretty much very close to that, okay, the other one over here. What this tells me is there's a lot of volume that is expected at this at around these two horizontal support resistance lines. See, let's see this green one here, which is a doji here. Okay, great. So what I do is I look down here, then I can look at the corresponding candle up above. And there's this doji candle, which is hard to see right there. All right, and then what else? Any other tall ones? Here's a tall one. Okay, so there's a zone. So to me, so this tall one from down here, if you trace it up, it goes all the way up to this guy right there. Okay, Alt H. That's also a zone. So expect a lot of reactions there. So I don't see any lines up here, right? Because look, down here, it's very similar volume candles. I like to look at the high volume candles. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. From a historical standpoint, if we go back, let's say a couple years, this is the weekly. All right, so we're at all-time highs here. Interesting. All right, so the question then is, we're at all-time highs and, oh, let me clean this up a little bit. This is the daily candle, so I'm going to go daily view. So this trend line up here was drawn on the weekly view. So you can see that it's not as precise. I'm going to pull this down, clean it up, okay? Right at the top of this candle. See how nicely it came to this one, right? It was up here. I pulled it down. I'm kind of very particular with how I draw my lines. So this is just the way I do it, okay? At Money Maven, the YouTuber who teaches technical analysis, take his course. It's fantastic. And most of my technical analysis skills, I'd say 75% of them are based on his teachings. And I've added a little bit of my own flavor, style, you know. We could all be trained at the same culinary institute, but we add a little bit of different flair and flavor to the way we cook. So this is what I do for technical analysis. Now I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at this zone. I'm going to see if I can pull the trend line down if it makes sense to. Okay, so what I might do is put just a little bit like this. Maybe like that. Let's take a look. Let's scroll back over here. Actually, yeah, I don't like it. I'll pull up just a little bit and I'll explain why. Okay. This zone here, to me, the story that we need to try to do is we need to align like right there. Okay. And the reason is either there or just up a little bit. Let's see, maybe like that. Yeah, actually I like this one better. So I might have to put it up higher. The reason is I like these two candles as a storytelling candle. Price bought up really forcefully that day, even though the volume wasn't too high down here, but at least from a price range standpoint. And then it sold back down quite a lot to a support. And usually I only see it with two candles. I don't usually see it with three. So I'm gonna adjust this just a little bit here. Kind of hard to see. And then maybe this will give a better story. Okay, so if it's like that, all right, maybe like that. Okay, I think I'm done. So we're at all-time highs, okay, going back to the weekly. All-time highs with lots of support down here. I feel there's very little support up here, meaning price is up here at all-time highs with not a lot of volume, okay? You can almost see that the volume is waning, yeah? I mean, if I were to draw, a line like this, and this is on the volume down here, you kind of see it going downward, okay? So price is going up right above this resistance line here. To me, it looks like a false breakout or a, what's the phrase, bull trap. Let's look at the momentum indicators and see what it says. Maybe I'm completely off. So we see from a momentum indicator that this high, okay, which is right there, corresponds with this little point, is lower. This is a higher high. Okay, so momentum is in agreement, excuse me, with price. So that's not diverging. Okay, it's in agreement. Now here on the PPO though, we've got a PPO that's way up here, and this is lower. So PPO is diverging. So only one indicator. So price is diverging. Let's look at this on the daily time frame, see how things look. All right. All right, hard to tell. So my assessment would be this. If this ticker, if price can remain solidly above this trend line, then stay long. Yeah. If you're already in it, stay long. But as soon as it breaks this trend line, right? If you're in it and you're long, then stay long. Let it bounce around up there. If you're already in it, good for you. Let it bounce around up here. Okay. But if it breaks underneath with some volume, I would close the position. Get out of the position, take your profits off the table. And that's how I would do this. Now, for those of us who are able to short the market, if there's bearish momentum that appears for the RSI, then I might short it down to, open a position like around here, let it go down to this trend line here, okay? I mean, we know there's a lot of support here. So what's the distance here? So let's say if it breaks and goes down here, that's about, yeah, almost a 15% move. So I'm going to put this on my watch list as a possible short. Anyway, hope this video was helpful for you to watch and learn about how to do my style of technical analysis, and also had a chance to give you some insight on this particular ticker, SAIC. It looks to me it's, continuing its bull run, but there's not a lot of volume up here. So I'd be careful. If it breaks underneath this trend line in the future, then I would close the position. And again, remember, I'm not a technical, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I play one on YouTube. And come to RemoreTC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. All right, please like, subscribe, and good luck with your trading.